Okay, hearing an engine light up, which means only one thing. We're about to get some boats back out on the water, they're not too distant. And let the fun and games begin again. Just a small break there with a few track repairs after Richard Murray got up and close and personal with a bank. He's okay, the boat's good. And we're looking set to go very, very shortly.
All right, Jason, yeah, nice to be back up here. That was a pretty scary moment. Those of you that are coming down into the crowd there, we had a really big accident here just a little while ago. And one of the boats ended up just about jumping back on the trailer, but it wasn't their trailer, it was somebody else's. So we just had to take a little break while we got things sorted out. We're back into the action now. We're going to be looking to go to Ting Tools Racing in front of us. Looks like Bevan and Kathy Muir. Okay, we're going back into Group A here because just running a little bit out of order for these competitors. As they take off the line, husband and wife team, great combination. They come to us from Thames, where they have, of course, Valley Toyota, 405 cubic inch Chevy, 600 horsepower, and good looking track out here for these guys.
Yeah, too right, and of course, first day outing out for these guys. So it's just that whole process of feeling out the track and getting everything locked in with driver and navigator, knowing that you know exactly the rotation. It is a very, very tight course here, so it's going to be wonderfully interesting to see how all these boats, crews get on throughout the day. And there's just going to be little moments like that where the boat jumps out of the water, where they're going to lose tenths of a second, and that is really going to count big time. Over the line now with a time of 45.456.
45.456. 45.456 is right in the middle of the pack. Thanks, Jay. Sorry I talked over you. We have trouble hearing you up here, the two of us. We're going to have to do that all day. But, yeah, it's great. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome as you walk in the gate. You're just watching the first round of qualifying in our boats here this morning. As we look down to back to the Superboats now in front of us, boat number 99, Blue Flame. The Superboats are the unlimited class that just go hell for leather. This is Dave Simmons and John Very. They come to us from the Hawke's Bay. 6.2 LSA motor with 850 horsepower. The Industrial Manufacturing Services, SMB Products and CNC Machinery are their sponsors. Now this boat can really get it on. Bang it gone. Let's turn it on. As we take off the line and head on around the outside of the course for the first time. Really getting some speed up here just as we come around the hairpin. There goes 850 horsepower, all having a drink of methanol as we launch themselves around the outside the track again. Back through the middle we come. Bit of a washing machine effect right here as we come back around Suzuki. Back through the middle we go. It's going to get really rough up there as our competitors go around our track later on. Here's a bit of rough water for them to come through. Hard right-hander around Alltherm. Come back around Mouthfresh and we'll be home with the time. Jason, have a little look down, see how quick they were.
Time here of 41.767.
41.767, good time for the start of the day. We're going to see sub-40s here later on. 41.767. Right, the next boat in should be Liquid Gold, Jason.
Yep, that's Graham Hill coming out now in Liquid Gold, the old Nissan Twin Turbo. And this thing goes like the absolute clappers.
All right, yeah, 11,000 horsepower here with this 8 3/4 unit. And this is one of the fastest superboats out at the moment. It certainly cuts good lines and sounds great. That Nissan motor instead of a Chevy really knows how to perform and has a good amount of power to put this unit into the water and get it around here quite quickly. Just at the moment, though, Graham will be feeling the track a little bit, and Amanda Kiddo doing the navigation for him.
So really you think that is the most important thing at the moment, Wiggy, is just to make sure that, you know, you're getting a good rotation and you've got the track locked in before you can really start punching down some times.
Yeah, you need to get those runs on the board, basically, to know where you're going before you put your foot down and know where to put it down. We'll look down for a time for that boat right there.
There we go. It's 43.046. 43.046.
All right, just middle of the track pace there for Graham Hill in liquid gold. We come off the line now with the guy that started this track up, Leighton Manel and Kelly Manel, the husband and wife team. They put it all together here. Nice to have them back in the same boat. You've seen a fair bit of Kelly going off course with Rob Coley's boat there in Wanganui back in the Christmas time runs. All right, here we go, Leighton. And Taranaki Hardcore is the name of the boat. 1,500 horsepower. But, this guy here just getting things sorted out a little bit as we come around a hard left-hander. The vision that they had to set this course up is going to come true for them today as they take a little lap around here now. Find themselves a couple of real tight hairpins in here to turn actually for these big boats. Get ourselves around the outside. Oh, they just about hung it out there to dry a little bit up around the top of PSP and that dirty water. One thing about Leighton, he always looks rough as guts at the start of the day, but by the end of it, he's going fast and hard and smooths it all out. Jason will have a quick look for the time.
Time through for Leighton and Kelly Manel of 47.120. 47.120. Of course, Leighton being extremely busy at the moment, getting everything sorted out and getting this track prepared. And like Wiggy says, he's a cagey fella, and he'll just keep on creeping up as the day gets on. And you pretty much always see Leighton and Kelly Manel there at the business end of the day. So they'll just be feeling their way through now, and we'll expect bigger and better things from that crew as we get on into the racing this afternoon.
Okay, looks like we're going to go to Poison Ivy once we get Hardcore back on. Taranaki Hardcore back on the ramp. Yeah, it's had a change this weekend. Rob Coley and Angie Coley are now back in the track together. I met Angie on the way up to the World Series, and she said she wanted to have a crack at this navigation, so that's great. So Rob Coley, he is, well, he's wrecked more boats than anyone this year, to be honest, to be totally honest. He had that big crash down at Wanganui, Jace, your hometown, and then he had another big crash up there at Bay Park in Tauranga 3 weeks ago for the World Series. I guess he won't be thinking too much about that. 705 cubic inch Donovan big block, 1170 horsepower, Sprintec G-Force whole 9-inch unit. One of the biggest engines and well, the biggest engine out there at the moment in cubic inches, and it's just gone dead on him. So that'll be a shame. He's just flamed it out, and those superboats can do that to you, ladies and gentlemen. They really can. They can be a real problem. And our rescue crew just get down there and stop that jet unit from hitting the concrete embankment. So a little bit of trouble. Those superboats are really temperamental. They have to idle out of here very, very slowly, and of course sometimes they just flame out, Jason.
And easy enough to sort of kick them back into life again, Wiggy?
Not really. No. Once they stop, there's a hell of a lot of process to go through starting them. Sometimes the starter motor just won't wind them over quick enough if there's too much water in there. The unit. There's also the fact that the methanol goes dry in the chambers, and there's all sorts of problems really. So no, they're quite temperamental, a bit like an ex-wife, to be honest, Jason. And an ex-wife's mother-in-law combined. The mother-in-law of the ex-wife combined.
That's just shocking. Yeah, that is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, superboats can be as temperamental as the whole lot put together.
Well, I guess at least he doesn't lose half his stuff as well. It's got to be something.
I'll tell you what, he's lost more than half his stuff this year. These boats, he's been wrecking them left, right and centre, and not for any reason, just a bit of bad luck, really. Got himself out of the water big time at the spin-out bowl in Wanganui and jumped into a tree.
Yeah, wasn't that absolutely spectacular? That was incredible.
Yeah, we hope that there's no real accidents like that today, but boy, oh boy, we've already had one there with Richard Murray coming back into the track pretty hard there earlier on and finding himself a big bank. But we'll just see who's going to come out next. One thing with these superboats, they do run out in order quite often due to the fact that things change out here.
Oh, it's really nice sitting here in the commentary box and looking out at the bank and around in the corporate area as well. The place already starting to fill up really, really nicely. So welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for coming along. You've made a wonderful decision today. You're in for some incredible action, and it's absolutely awesome to see you all out here getting in amongst it. So welcome, kick back, relax, have a good time, enjoy the sunshine, and check out this amazing V8 jet sprint racing action as Rob Coley looks to be up and running again.
I hope that sounded good, Jason, because all I could hear was Poison Ivy starting back up. So the mouth fresh bows there. But I'm sure you sounded great, but we're just hearing all that horsepower heading off. Oh, Caughey's as happy as hell. We've just been told that there's a after party tonight at the Bridge Tavern. So from 6 p.m. on, come down and meet a few of the stars of jet sprinting. Free barbecue, and so that's on at the Bridge Tavern there.
Make sure you get there early, because we know Caveman, and he'll be chomping through that barbecue there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. My voice is actually really croaky today. I sound a little bit like Caughey. There's just about 10 kilos difference.
And he may go missing as well. He'll probably already be at the pub by about 3 this afternoon.
I'm surprised he's still here now. All right, here we go. Off the line. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rob Coley. They got the boat started again in Ange Coley. 1,170 horsepower. Boy, it cuts nice lines. Doing a bit of crackling, though. It doesn't sound like it's running there well at all. And maybe that flame out was a bit more than what we thought, but it sounds like it's drinking way too much fuel and not being able to use it out there right now. It's got more cackle than a can house in it, actually. So obviously only running on about 6 cylinders there. It's really not performing at all, and that'll be a real worry for them as they head on around the track. Because at any stage the engine goes out, they're going to lose their steering, and we're going to see them come out of the water. But Rob Coley's not going to worry about that too much. He did set a time, but there's a whole lot of work going to have to go on back in the pits to find where that cackle's come from. Rob Coley and Angie Coley out there, the husband and wife team that we have. Ruben Hoxie are going to set a time up for us. Okay, it looks like they haven't actually registered a time out there. There's a piece of equipment that all the boats have on them, which is a transponder. And what that transponder does is it sets our timer alight. As it goes underneath the Suzuki starter time there, right there where the wires are across the track, it sends a signal up to it, starts and finishes the stopwatch for us. But I think being the first round of the day, it looks like Rob Coley may have forgotten to put the transponder in or forgot to turn it on. Something that him and his pit crew will have to work out. But being the first run of the day, that's the best time to do that sort of thing, so those mistakes aren't too costly. The program today is 4 rounds of qualification, 4 qualification rounds, and then we'll go through into elimination rounds. We'll have a top 12, a top 8, a top 5, and a top 3. Those of you that are watching from around the world on live stream, welcome, welcome, welcome again to the best part of New Zealand, of course, over here in Waitara. Lots of stuff happening this weekend over in Taranaki. But here's a boat that we need to keep a good look at right now. World champions they are. This is the all-therm boat. And this boat is one hard boat to beat. Glenn Head and Darren Todd. They have a Southern Jet unit, but they got 400 cubic inch HRE turbo and 1,400 horsepower. You heard that little cackle as they took off the line. That was the launch control that they used to set the turbos on fire so that when they ignite that fire of the engine, that the turbos have got a heap of boost up there, and it just throws them forward as quick as they can. No delay in the takeoff that some turbo engines can give. I talked to them earlier on. They said that they wanted to try and get as much acceleration out of the corners on this tight little track as possible. So they're making this boat handle a little bit different this weekend from some of the other tracks that they previously had. Lots of horsepower here to play with. As we're going to let you take them home, Jason.
You can see that it's going to be pretty tricky to come back across through the wake. This tight track's going to make things very, very interesting when these guys are really trying to post some solid times as we get on into the business end of the day. Glenn Head there and Darren Todd coming in with a time of 43.417. 43.417. So all crews really just floating around the same sort of times at the moment. Like we've said a few times, they're just feeling each other out, getting used to this new track, and then as we get on through, those times just have to keep coming on down if these guys want to stay in the competition and take the honours come the end of the day.
Oh, it's early part of the day, though. They'll get themselves prepared. But speaking of prepared, here's a guy that always prepares himself well. This is Peter Caughey and Shama Putaranui. NZ Trojan Tow Tail Oil Boat. It's 572 small block V8. 9 times New Zealand champion. 6 times world champion. Shama Putaranui is the navigator from down there in Canterbury as well. 1,000 horsepower. Now this guy didn't really have the best season so far that he's wanted. So he's had a crash or two and had a few problems engine-wise as well. But today's a new day, and if I know Peter Caughey, he will make sure that he's finding himself on the podium this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely one of those competitors that you just can't keep them down for too long at all. So Peter Caughey, of course, will be back, and he will be in title contention. I'm sure of that. So he's just going to come around the outside now, come over the line, and Peter Caughey will score a time there of 42.7.
Fives and better with these Superboats later on. Well done, Peter Caughey. Just recap that time for me again, please. What was it? 42.748. Okay, we're going to go to Group B's now. We're back into the heavily regulated introductory class of boats that you're looking at right now, the Biolytics Group B's. Of course, this is the PSP New Zealand Jet Sprinting Champions. And we'll take a good look at some of the boats that are coming down on us now. A lot smaller engines. These guys are down around about 400 or 500 horsepower. Whereas those big boats that we just saw were well in excess of 1,000, most of them.